Welcome this afternoon on the marketplace. The Energy Commission to begin West Africa Energy Academy with net zero building.
And it is important that the very environment in which they are going to sit and study itself is energy efficient when it comes to consumption of energy in that building.
Also, Ghana's oil production is expected to experience a leap as Springfield's Afina test drilling scheduled to be completed in the coming days. Also, President Akufo-Addo announces an increase in cocoa prices. We will be engaging some farmers on this move. This and many more coming up today on the Marketplace. Now let's bring you an update on how the Ghana cedi is performing against major global currencies on the currency market. And now to our first story. The Energy Commission, in collaboration with partners, will use its newly constructed Net Zero building as a learning center for renewable energy and green energy development for the West African sub-region. The move is to support the promotion of net zero policies and boost the campaign for renewable energy use. Director of Energy Efficiency and Renewable at the Energy Commission, Kofi Ejako, has been speaking with Joy Business after a short ceremony to unveil the Net Zero building in Accra. Here's more. The Nearly Zero Energy building is the first of its kind to be built in Ghana, with features that will allow it to generate and use energy efficiently. This facility by the Energy Commission is serving as the beginning point for the Commission to begin an energy academy, which will serve as a learning point for the West African sub-region. Director in charge of Energy Efficiency and Renewables at the Energy Commission, Kofi Ejako, disclosed that this will make Ghana become a leading example in energy efficiency and sustainability.
It is going to serve as a learning point for us here in Ghana and West Africa and Africa in general, because almost every year we receive not less than 2 delegations from Africa to come and learn about the energy efficiency success story of Ghana. So this building, besides everything, is also going to house our Energy Academy, where Africa will come and learn about how we started and where we are. And it is important that the very environment in which they are going to sit and study itself is energy efficient when it comes to consumption of energy in that building.
Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, who spoke on behalf of the Energy Minister, believes that the facility will position the country towards achieving its climate goals.
This Net Zero building represents a tangible steps towards achieving our broader energy and climate goals. It aligns with our national ambition to shift towards low-carbon economy by embracing renewable energy sources and improving energy efficiency across all sectors. As we stand here today, This structure, besides the reduction of emission, also sets a precedent and a standard for future development across our country and our continent.
The project is sponsored by the German Embassy in Ghana and the GIZ. Government has announced an increase in the cocoa producer price from the current 3,000 cedis to 3,100 per kilo bag. This was announced last Friday by President Akufo-Addo at a dinner to celebrate farmers in the country. Let's get to the line and speak to the national president of the Ghana Cooperative Cocoa Farmers Association, Isifu Isaka. Welcome to the marketplace, Isifu. What do you make of this increment by government?
Yes, it is a good move for cocoa farmers. And then cocoa farmers, we welcome the new announcement. And we knew it will happen because of how we are trading, or we have transformed our trading process. So cocoa farmers welcome the news, and then we think it is in the right direction.
However, will you have wished for a higher increment, Isifu?
Yes. To me as a farmer, and then knowing what is happening today, cocoa farmers, we thought the government could have increased the price more than what we are seeing today. Because this year, for instance, we know that the government is not doing forward sales. Ghana as a country is doing spot market. It means the availability of beans that we have is what we are selling with the current prevailing price. And cocoa is trading around $7,000. So if you are paying 3,100 Ghana cedis, if you break it down to the farm gate price, it means cocoa farmers are taking below 50%. But we've heard of the president saying that his government is committed to paying 70% of gross FOB to cocoa farmers. And today, 70% of gross FOB should be around 5,500. And so I think the government could have done better than what we had last Friday.
Isifu, let me understand. How is the current state of cocoa smuggling amongst some of your operators? And also, will this in a way deter the activity of smuggling that is mostly happening among some of the cocoa farmers?
For smuggling, the only factor or the major factor is about price difference. When we have high price difference among our neighboring countries, it means that there is a tendency for smuggling to partake. And I think if you compare Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire, we are in the same stage in terms of minimum price. But if you go to Cote d'Ivoire, there is a tendency for cocoa farmers to negotiate above the price set by government. Though Cote d'Ivoire is trading around 3,000 Ghana cedis plus, but on the foot, people are buying above 3,600. So because of the price difference, it encourages people to take their cocoa from Ghana to either Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, or any other neighboring country. So I think there's a Cote d'Ivoire Ghana initiative. There should be a deliberate effort to ensure that anytime Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana will be at the same price level, which will not encourage smuggling.
Finally, Isifu, the Cocoa Board has made an optimistic target of cocoa seedling by the 2024-2025 cocoa season. Per where you sit as a cooperative association, what do you make of the outlook? Will Cocoa Board be able to meet the target? And are your farmers in the position to meet the supply?
This year, we are not seeing much different as compared to last year. The weather level is the same, and the circumstances prevailing is the same. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ghana will produce less than 600,000 metric tons and will be in the same range as last year we did, because as of now, there is a high sunshine which is affecting the flowering of the cocoa trees. So if care is not taken, it means that this year too, Ghana is going to reduce its production in terms of cocoa produce. So for cocoa farmers, we are doing our best by practicing production enhancement programs, that is the pruning, the spraying, the fertilizing, and the other things. We are doing our best, but the general picture is such that Ghana may repeat the production we had last year.
Isifu Isaka is the national president for the Ghana Cocoa Farm Cooperative Society Association. Thank you for your time here. Now, we move on to another very interesting story. Persons in Ghana that rely on global remittance giant TapTapSend to receive money from friends and relatives abroad will now have to look for alternatives. This is because the Bank of Ghana has directed all financial institutions in the country to halt remittances termination in partnership with the company for the next month. There is more in the following report.
Based on the letter from the Bank of Ghana to all financial institutions, including commercial banks and all enhanced payment service providers, the suspension took effect on 8th November 2024 and should end on 8th December 2024. The Bank of Ghana in the letter maintained that it took the action because the TapTap, which allows persons outside to remit funds through their mobile virtual platforms, was operating a CD remittance wallet, which is in violation of the Foreign Exchange Act in Ghana. The central bank argued that this move was also in violation of the updated guidelines for inward remittance service. The regulator is warning that it will not hesitate to severely punish any institutions that breach the law. TapTapSend had in recent times become the preference choice for many people outside for sending money to Ghana. This is because of the mobile-based platform and how it competitively priced in terms of cost. The action by the Bank of Ghana is coming at a time the regulator has come under some serious criticisms over not being able to account for all the remittances that comes into the country.
Let's get onto the Zoom and speak to banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etiahene for more insights on this particular development. Doc, what do you make of the Bank of Ghana's recent suspension of TapTapSend following the discovery of an operational breach involving a CD remittance wallet operated by TapTapSend themselves?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to your cherished viewers. I believe this action should have started long ago. I have said it, and I will continue to say it. These people are externalizing the dollar. So I'm not surprised that they have created a CD wallet to be able to take the foreign currency over of it. I believe that Bank of Ghana, as I said some time ago, must conduct a forensic audit on all those fintech that they licensed 2-3 years ago and see whether this externalization, what I have been saying, is not true. I have been vindicated when I said earlier that these things are going on. But when you say it, they trample on you, they make excuses as if remittances was initiated last year. Remittances has been with us since 2010 or thereabout. And instead of you capturing and tracking it very well, especially with the fintech, when we say it, you always have an answer. When I say it, you always have an answer. When I challenge you about your own...
Doc, can we stay on the issue, especially on the case of the breach of the law?
Well, the breach of the law is, they've all been breaching it. If you look at the Foreign Exchange Act, it clearly mandates that it is only the Bank of Ghana and authorized dealer banks that are supposed to withhold foreign exchange. Unfortunately, if you look at how these fintech have been licensed and what they do, this is only a tip of an iceberg. For me, it is a tip of an iceberg. All right. And I believe Bank of Ghana should get up and begin to do what other countries have been doing.
Okay. TapTapSend in its official statement has assured customers of the safety of their money held in the wallet, which can be transferred directly to their banks for subsequent withdrawals. How much do you think our government is likely to lose in terms of remittances, especially based on the targets that it has for the year?
Well, you can achieve your targets, but you must always address the bottlenecks. These discrepancies has been there, and we have been saying it and saying it. That is not just just licensing them, ensure that the foreign exchange component actually come to mitigate the fast depreciation of the currency. Unfortunately, what they have done with that absent, it is what I have been saying all along. And I will urge them, I will beseech them that they should go far more and begin to look at the other operators so that this city that is running, heading to 18, we can possibly stop it.
Apart from this issue coming up, what other issues, possibly based on remittance transfer, would you say are existence in the market?
Well, even if you look at the World Bank record on remittances to Ghana, 2026, it said 4.6 billion were supposed to have been captured. We captured on 2.8. So we need to strengthen the mechanisms of capturing the foreign remittances, especially the foreign component. We need to strengthen it the way it is. We're not doing anything about it. Let me refer you. In October, the Nigerian Minister of Finance and the governor of Nigeria went to Washington and traveled to various Nigerian communities. And he's thinking what the Ethiopians have done, creating a bond out of it so that they can have money to support the economy. This is the way we should be going. This is the way we should be going. Because remittances is something that has come to bless the country. It is more than the cocoa. And let me repeat, it is more than the gold. And I call it super gold because it is the only one that will be able to save this country and even go beyond 2026, 2020, when we begin to service the debt. The remittances should be the capture where we will use it in servicing the debt and payment for 2024 and 2020.
We appreciate your time here on the marketplace. Dr. Richmond China is a banking consultant bringing us highlights on the ramification of tap send being suspended by the central bank. Now, moving on, government recorded another marginal oversubscription of Treasury bills. It, however, came at an expense of rising interest rates as the cost of borrowing surged. There is more in the following report.
According to the auction results from the Bank of Ghana, the government bagged 5.825 billion Ghana cedis from the sale of the short-term instrument, versus against a target of 5.623 billion Ghana cedis. All the bids were accepted. A staggering 5.107 billion Ghana cedis, about 87.67%, came from the 91-day bill. For the 182-day bill, 560.07 million Ghana cedis were tendered. A little over 157 million Ghana cedis were, however, offered for the 364-day bill. Meanwhile, interest rates increased on the yield curve. Some analysts believe the government would have missed a target if interest rates had stayed the same or gone down. The yield on the 91-day bill went up by 26 basis points to 26.82%. The rate on the 182-day bill was, however, 27.67%, higher than the 27.58% recorded a week ago. That of the 364-day bill also shot up to 29.12%, compared with the 28.97% the preceding week.
Now let's go to the petroleum industry. The country's oil production is expected to witness some significant increase in the coming days. This is because Springfield is nearing the completion of the test drill on its Afina oil well. The process is expected to be completed before the end of November 2024. Joy Business's Isaac Atasei Nyako has more in this report.
While on a familiarization tour on the deep-sea bolster, experts on board the rig expressed optimism, describing the appraisal drilling process of the Afina 1X well as forward-looking. The process, which commenced on the 17th of October 2024, is expected to be completed before the end of November 2024. The project, which is in partnership with the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, and GNPC Exploco, signals a strategic move to finalize the unitization of the Afina Sankofa oil fields. When completed, the move is expected to lead to the production of 50,000 barrels of crude per day and solidify Springfield's role as a key player in Ghana's oil industry, as well as boost the nation's standing in the global energy market.
Now, the Ghana Mine Workers Union is urging the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to expedite the selection of a new investor for the Bogoso Prestea mine after the termination of future global resources lease to 2 months ago. The Minerals Commission has submitted its investor recommendation. The union emphasizes that the delays are impacting livelihoods and calls for a swift action to revive the mine. The union's General Secretary, Momin Abdul Gwagwana, spoke to Joy Business.
We are seized with information to the effect that the Minerals Commission, and by extension the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, has done a lot of due diligence targeted at least deciding on one of the prospective investors that have shown interest. Our concern, however, as a union is that it's 2 months, practically 2 months now since government took this decision. And indeed, the Minerals Commission, the Board of Minerals Commission, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources have done a lot of work. I'm reliably informed that a recommendation has been made to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, which is by law established. And so the expectation is for the minister to proceed so that whoever the investor is can take charge of the mine. As we speak now, workers are, still at work, but practically no salaries are being paid. Minerals Commission attempted to make available some one-off stipend for these workers, but obviously that is not sustainable. And so what we are saying is that once a decision has been made by Minerals Commission and its board, and a recommendation made to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, it's only fair and proper that at least the minister goes ahead, with the announcement of whoever the investor is. Because as a union, our interest is to ensure that the mine is back and running so that our members can get their jobs. The community of Bogoso and Prestea at least would be revamped once again so that at least the domestic economy will boom, arising out of the comeback of the mine. So we simply do not understand why, for close to 2 months now, after proper due diligence has been done and recommendations made, the government is still, quiet about this whole thing.
Now, the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants and the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants have awarded 65 Ghanaian accounting and financial professionals with a Chartered Global Management Accountant designation at the convocation ceremony. Guest speaker and Deputy Controller and Accountant General of Finance and Administration, Emilia Osei Dechi, entreated the new members to embrace the changing trends in the sector to grow their organizations. She was speaking at the CIM Ghana convocation and member recognition in Accra.
The Chartered Institute of Management Accountants works closely with employers and sponsors leading-edge research, constantly updating its professional qualification and professional experience requirements to ensure it remains the employer's choice when recruiting financially trained business leaders. At this year's convocation, Deputy Controller and Accountant General of Finance and Administration, Emilia Osei Dechi, urged the new members to continuously develop their skills in order to adapt to changing trends in the sector.
In an era where trust is undermined by uncertainty and misinformation, being a CIMA member gives you and your skills credibility. I believe this designation will open doors for you as you start out on your long and successful careers, full of opportunities and paths to take you across different organizations and around the world. It is not just the accreditation that will help you. It's more of the skills that you have gained and the ongoing learning that you have committed to by becoming a management accountant.
Regional African Vice President of the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, Tariro Mutizwa, urged the new members to focus on enhancing the profitability of the companies.
We are ushering into the economy people who are going to contribute. And the way the CIMA graduate contribute is they bring insights to organization, better decision making, for a sustainable future, for a sustainable economy. So we are contributing to the provision of those skills in the economy, and companies out there must be willing to embrace the skills and knowledge that they're coming with. But to the graduates as well, it doesn't end here. The designation is not the it-all and everything. They still have to work hard, they still have to keep current, they still have to know the trends that are going on in the market right now. For example, we will admit them into membership and will continuously keep them current with what's happening.
The Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, is the world's leading and largest professional body of management accountants.
Now, the Africa World Airlines has donated over 60,000 to the breast cancer unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital to support the treatment of breast cancer patients, according to the brand and marketing manager of Africa World Airlines, Jocelyn Andor. The gesture is aimed at reducing the financial burden on patients and supporting them through the treatment process.
Breast cancer remains a significant public health challenge in Ghana. According to the World Health Organization, over 4,000 new cases are diagnosed annually and more than 2,000 lives are lost to the disease each year in the country. To help reduce the burden on patients, Africa World Airlines has donated over 60,000 cedis to the breast cancer unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. According to the brand and marketing manager of Africa World Airlines, Jocelyn Andor, the company is dedicated to improving the lives of patients battling with breast cancer.
Last year, we had a colleague who had been diagnosed with breast cancer, and it's something that became very dear to us. So we came here last year to make a generous donation as well, also an effort of both our staff and our passengers. The idea was to sort of contribute to patients who could not afford the treatment when it comes to breast cancer. Imelda, our colleague, unfortunately could not make it. She died in January. And so we kept this going. We said that this year we want to come back. We made a promise that we'll come back with even a more generous donation to the units, because we want to do this in her memory as well as to support everyone else who is going through this very terrible ordeal. The little that any organization can do to support any organization that takes to protecting or maybe, to supporting patients who are in need, who cannot afford this kind of sickness. We don't want to see more of these cases, as we hear about it every single year when Breast Cancer Month has been declared.
That's all by the way on the marketplace. My name is Winston Taki. Thanks for watching. Expect more business updates at 5 on the Business Live. Have a wonderful business day. Bye-bye.